Hey all, and welcome to Top 5. I'm here today with Joe.
Me.
That's Joe, okay. And I'm here with Jonathan.
What's up, y'all?
Alright, and I am Frank, your moderator. And today your judge. It's my turn to be a judge, and our topic today is Top 5 Netflix series. I like that. That's a good way to roll.
I'm just throwing something out.
It's different. What the heck? We'll try it out. So, let's go over some of the parameters. We're going just the series, not the movies, because I haven't really watched...
Movies? Well, I'm screwed. Need a new list.
Are you serious?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. Actually, let me look at my list.
Have you really
Google
watched...
top 5.
Your list, I like it.
Have you guys watched any of the movies? There's one Adam Sandler one I watched that was okay-ish.
Was that the one with Chris Rock? Like where it's wife, not
I
wife,
think that's
daughters
all of
get
Adam
married
Sandler
or
movies.
something?
No, it was one where it's like a Western.
Oh, the Crazy Eight?
Yeah,
Like that?
might be
That
it.
wasn't Netflix, was it? I thought that was in the theaters.
No, it was a Netflix one. It might be called Crazy 8. I don't know. But anyways, it had Adam Sandler. It was a Western. It was terrible. One of the things that was so distracting is it had the guy that was the Kingpin as like one of the cowboys that he recruits to save people.
Yeah.
And he used a voice that was so distracting that you were just like, that doesn't... It was like a high squeaky voice, and he was like this big trapper that I thought, there's something wrong with my Netflix. Like, maybe my audio's going out or something like that. No, it was him being a dumbass. It was just that. That was just his voice.
That's weird.
But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to do just TV series. Netflix originals, even if they claim it to be originals. So there's some BBC originals that they'll take on, they'll buy. Those are still considered BBC originals, or Netflix originals.
They just buy the rights to call it their own?
Yeah, so
That's
a
not
good
original.
example is Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders isn't technically a Netflix original. Netflix didn't pay for it to be made, but it is an original content that they're bringing to us.
So once it was successful, they decided to buy it and sell it.
Even if they're not successful, so
yeah.
Netflix's business model for a long time, it's just now changing like this year, is if you win awards, they'll renew you. So they'll first off, they'll just give you a chance. If you have an interesting, unique idea, they'll give you a chance. And then if you win awards, then you're going to get renewed instead of your ratings. But now, like the Luke Cage cancellation and stuff like that, now they're going towards ratings again. Or like most shows.
I just don't like
Restrictions.
the qualifier of a Netflix original if they didn't make it. If they didn't produce it from,
I mean, if you're gonna pay me less of money and you want to call it yours, I mean,
Well, think of it this
do
way.
what you want.
Think of it this way. Just because BBC
I
paid for it, that's not like BBC's not getting paid from Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's something that we probably wouldn't see over here in the United States.
Yeah.
So if you're in UK or maybe even Europe, you've probably seen it already before Netflix owned it.
Yeah.
But Netflix then owns the distribution rights.
Yeah.
So another good example is like pick a show, King of Queens. It's on. It was on CBS, but it probably was produced maybe like by Fox. So Fox didn't put it on their stations, but they produced and made it, and then CBS was who's the broadcaster.
Yeah, but CBS doesn't broadcast it as a CBS original King of Queens. It wasn't their
Well,
first and...
Well, Netflix is saying that Netflix original. I think it's mostly just you're right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
just that title. I don't know. It bothers me, but...
So they're taking unique ideas, huh? I think we got a couple unique ideas we should shoot at Netflix.
Like the top 5 TV show.
Top 5 TV show. I don't know.
God, that'd be
I think
so
that's what
boring.
YouTube's for. We're working on that too. The studio's getting at it. It's almost done. Then we'll be able to do streaming, and we'll be able to do YouTube channel videos. Because we currently do have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys know, so not all of our podcasts go up on the YouTube channel,
Ah,
but it's a picture of our logo while we talk.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'll soon be-
subliminal.
I'm fine with that because, if we start recording, I mean, I gotta put on pants.
I know.
And I'm not sure.
Yeah, we got to start looking presentable. But
Yeah.
that's how we get all the clicks that way. They see our faces. They're like, oh my god.
People don't like clickbait anymore.
Yeah, we are clickbait. All right, so what we're gonna do is you guys are gonna go over your 5s, and then we're gonna go ahead and compete. Jonathan, why don't you give us your 5s first?
All right, my 5 are Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, Altered Carbon, Lost in Space, and Atypical.
Lost in Space. I didn't think that'd be on anybody's list.
I like it. It's really got me hooked.
We were supposed to do an episode about that show,
Yeah, you dropped the ball.
I dropped the ball.
I don't know.
I'm one of 3 people that were supposed to be in that episode. I have a feeling I'm the one that didn't drop the ball. I literally have like 4 pages written up on that. On that.
So I watched the show. I didn't take any notes, but yeah, we should.
I'm gonna blame it on the guy it was his idea, and he's not here today. So
Who was
Yeah,
Daniel.
yeah.
The girl?
It's all his fault. But yeah, we should still. We should
I'm down to talk
pick
about
some
it.
good shows and make our separate episodes about them.
I'm down. All right, Joe.
My
what
top
were your
5. Haunting on Hill House.
Haunted on Hill House?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
I've never even heard of that.
It's It's new.
0 stars.
It's really good, and we'll get to it. The Ranch.
Okay, yeah,
terrible.
that's pretty good. It's a
Stranger
good
Things.
sitcom. What was the one I saw?
Stranger Things.
Okay.
Black Mirror.
Oh, I like
I
Black Mirror.
haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
hear it's good though.
Yeah, very good.
And Narcos.
Narcos.
Narcos. Oh yeah, baby.
All right.
All right, so
So I win, right? I win by default.
No,
It
there's-
sounds like my list is already 1,000 times better.
There's so many that were on my list that aren't in your guys' is bugging the shit out of me, but that's okay. All right, so Jonathan, we'll start with you again, and let's hear your number one. You got 1 minute.
So my number one is Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Takes place where this like I don't know middle-aged white lady was caught laundering. I think she was laundering money for like a drug cartel. I can't remember all the fine details. But anyway, she gets thrown in prison.
Yeah.
And pretty much what you see from her perspective is the what prison life is like.
Yeah.
You know, because she was just a regular. She had a fiance and she was not involved in the cartel drug business or anything anymore. But you know, she had a normal life, and then she was thrown into prison, and she meets all these weird people, and she's super scared of what to expect. But she's kind of naive to start with too.
Yeah.
But you just see like her day-to-day life and see how the inmates are kind of taken advantage of and abused sometimes, and just how their life is in general. But the different seasons have like major changes throughout the seasons too.
Big arcs that go over each season.
Yeah. So it's a really good show. I like it. You should watch it.
You forgot to mention that I don't even know her name. There's some girl in there that's really hot.
Is it Ruby Rose?
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's the correct answer.
That's the wrong answer. Just like your top 5 list would have been.
Also, that show
No,
stars Kate Mulgrew, who played Catherine Janeway on.
That is the reason I started watching it. She actually canceled. You remember that when she canceled her appearance at the convention we went to?
Oh yeah.
To record some new thing for Netflix, and
Yeah,
we're like,
that's true.
well, we better see what this new thing is if she's gonna cancel for us. It ended up being good.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't remember her name. It's like a Mexican one. One
I
Mexican
don't know.
one.
Oh, one of the two girls that do makeup all the time and stuff.
Oh,
There's like that
no,
short
yeah,
one
you're
and the
right.
taller one.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. Both of them are,
Yeah,
but
let
the
me
shorter one for
I can't
sure.
remember
Let me
the
call you
names. Yeah.
Okay, first,
She knows.
Yannette, who's that hot girl?
No, she knows. I call her Bay all the time.
Wow, that's not great.
That's great. All right,
It's
Bacon and eggs, guys. Come on.
great for everyone else.
all
All
right.
right,
Joe.
my top numero uno is Narcos.
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 Okay,
Have you seen Narcos?
I've seen a couple episodes of
I
it.
watched the first season.
Yeah,
I had a boy tab.
I
Yeah,
got
okay.
bored.
It's so Narcos.
It's like a lot of reading.
I hate subtitles. Yeah, Narcos it's about Pablo Escobar
Okay,
and his rise to the top of.
go ahead and
the-
speak up so people don't have to turn up the mic right now.
I'm trying to remember things. It's about Pablo Escobar and his rise to the top, being the big drug lord as everybody
Yeah.
knows him. Cocaine, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he gets into cocaine. It's
I remember them like trying to pack cocaine inside the walls of a boat or something like that. to transport it.
you see all types of
Yeah.
things that they were
Smuggling.
doing. Yeah, so it's basically the story of him and his rise to the top, but it's from 2 DEA agents. It's from their, well, not necessarily their perspective, but they're kind of telling the story. And yeah, that's Narcos.
Makes you want to be a drug peddler or something?
Yeah,
Smuggler.
I watched it and I got a few good ideas
Yeah.
to make some money. If you guys are interested,
Heck yeah.
um,
The studio is going to be studio slash
Yeah,
shop.
I see how that works. All right, all right. I got those soundproof things I'm putting on the walls with like be false in the back, and we could like put whatever we want back there. Like on Breaking Bad when he had that one
Yeah.
wall that just
I
had
told
money stacked in it.
one of my friends, I was like, hey, I just finished Breaking Bad, series of Breaking Bad, and man, you want to make some money? I got this great idea. It's not gonna fail, trust me.
Man, if that was a Netflix original, it'd be number one.
Yeah. That's
I love
a
that
good
show. Okay, so we have our two shows: Orange is the New Black and Narcos. My first question,
Narcos. Bing.
my question's gonna be, and I'll start with you, Joe.
If I could play the music, I would, but are you gonna get like a
Good, good
Yeah,
music.
let's not. I
little
don't.
copyright thing? or
Yeah, I
something?
don't want any copyright problems.
You can sing it, yeah.
Yeah,
Singing it in my head.
We have Joe dancing here. You guys can't see that, but it's pretty
all the
funny.
dates. Wait until we have the video. The
No,
dancing's gonna
dance.
You can dance without your pants on, Joe. We'll get a lot more likes.
Yeah.
A
Not
couple
safe for
lawsuits.
word dancing, but all right.
NSFW tag.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start with you, Joe, and I want to hear, how does your show tell its story through the seasons? A lot of what people do is they'll binge an entire season, So does it have arcs per season? Does the arcs carry over for the whole series? How does that flow?
What do you mean by arcs?
A complete storyline.
Yes,
Like
it's a
problem
complete
that they-
complete storyline. So season 1 is basically you're kind of being introduced to Pablo Escobar and like I said a few seconds ago, his rise to the top. So everything he's doing to become this big drug lord.
Okay.
And then it's also being told from these two DEA agents' perspective, and it's their story of what it took to capture him and everything they had to go through and do a bunch of all these series of events. And then season 2, it still carries over, like the end of season 1 and it's beginning of season 2. It's all the same thing. You just straight continuation. This one's more about. I don't want to give spoilers for those who haven't seen it, I guess. But
guys, there's gonna be spoilers on this, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's more of. So at the end of season 1, it's been a while since I watched it, but basically they kind of like get close to capturing him,
Right.
Pablo, and season 2 is more about him. He's still running things, but he's very on the run,
Okay.
and he's.
So it is one continuous story throughout all the seasons.
Yes, it's all. So season 3 was a totally different cartel.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one that is. Season 4 is actually coming out in a few weeks. Actually, I gotta get ready.
Yeah.
But that one's gonna be the Mexican.
More
cartel.
dancing.
Yeah, that one's gonna be the Mexican cartel.
Okay.
So that
Ooh,
one's
that'll be very good.
Yeah, I don't. I think it was like the Mexicali cartel or something was season 3.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
So the first few seasons are all Pablo, and then it moves on to
The first 2 seasons are Pablo Escobar, and then season 3 is I don't remember if it's both DEA agents, but I know it's one for sure because the way season 2 ends after spoiler, they catch Pablo.
What?
Yeah, he dies if you didn't know. They catch him and he dies, and the way it ends is the DEA agent. He was basically working. He went, behind everybody's back, kind of, and started working with the Mexicali cartel.
Yeah.
Whoever was again, I think that was it. I'm not 100%. I need fact checks, I guess, but
That's where Squeaks is at. He's usually a Googler.
yeah, because they wanted Pablo taken out, of course, too, because he was too powerful and
Yeah.
he was hurting everybody.
All right.
So he works with them, and at the end of that, the DEA or whatever brings the agent in, questions him, like, hey, he thinks he's gonna get fired and let go because everything he did to capture him, obviously wasn't by the book.
Right.
And then they're just like,
Sick him underneath.
yeah, he's like, you got all his box ready to go, and
Yeah.
he's just like, here you go, and he's like, they push it back. They're like, no, what do you know about the Mexicali cartel? Boom, and it ends. And you're like, oh, season 3.
All right. So Jonathan, same thing for you. How does the show feel from season to season? Is it something that has complete stories in each season, or is it dependent on each other?
I think they have. It's dependent on each other because they do evolve. Your characters evolve. It's all character driven. It's not like a story you could tell outside of the characters.
Yeah.
The first season is just completely pretty much about Piper because she's the middle-aged white lady that gets thrown into prison.
Yeah.
And her getting acclimated with prison life, I guess. But then you see that she evolves and she learns how to be kind of tough exterior but still kind and generous and everything. And so then season 2, she decides, because she's smart and savvy and used to help launder money, I guess.
Yeah, she tries to.
She starts her own business, and
this girl
becomes successful in prison and becomes like a badass. Like she's like the mob boss, I guess, of the prison. But then brings unwanted attention and causes more conflict and stuff like that. So then later on, she kind of learns, maybe I need to just stay out of the limelight. I'm just going to stay here and be cool with everybody and not get involved in stuff. But then her friends start to become victims of other people's scenarios and plans and stuff.
It becomes much more of an entourage class, or not an entourage, but it ends up becoming more about the full cast at that point, less about Piper.
Exactly. After the first season, you've already seen and know all of her. And one of the best things about the show to me is it's all flashbacks. You see a little bit of what's going on in the prison.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
that's true.
It flashes back to why is she in prison, or what's her husband up to?
It's kind of like Lost in that way.
And so, but you learn all about her, and then in the future seasons, you kind of know some of her friends that she just met and is dealing with in prison. So then you learn their backstory one at a time, and they develop so much in so much detail that you think, okay, you're only watching like an episode about 3 or 4 days in prison, but you're seeing so much of their past life that really shapes in fine detail each character and makes you fall in love with each of these characters that become part of Piper's family in prison.
Yeah.
So it's a really good show. And each season has, to me, because I started getting kind of bored with it around season 4, I think.
Yeah,
But-
that's about where I'm at too, where I got bored with it.
They changed directions. They did a really good job when they had the lockdown in the prison. They had a whole season was just
Yeah.
the lockdown in prison.
If that season felt weird, I'm not a big fan of that one. And now the show's done. I don't know if you've seen the newest season
Yeah,
or not.
season 7.
Yeah.
Was that the?
They went to Max.
Yeah,
That's the last
that was
season.
the last one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Piper got let out of prison.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
That
done.
was- yeah.
So the show's actually done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give my verdict and give a little one off on each. Narcos I really like because it does take a hardcore stance to something that everybody already knows about. It kind of gives a real good glimpse at Pablo Escobar. Everybody knows that name. I really do like that. And then the idea that they change it up after the first 2 seasons, and now we might see 1 season for each new cartel. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's a unique story. It's a diverse cast. I like that. That's also a big plus for Orange is the New Black. It's a big cast, a diverse cast. Orange is the New Black also shines light on a tough situation with our prison system. So that's one thing that's kind of cool about both these shows, right? Mm-hmm. My big problem with Orange is the New Black, and I want to say her name is Genji or something like that. The creator of the show is actually the same creator of Weeds. I don't know if you know that or not, but and it suffers from the same exact problem Weeds suffered. The show just was long too long.
Yeah.
It started out
you haven't
so
seen
strong.
You haven't seen the last 2 seasons?
I haven't seen the very last season. I've seen the one
Okay.
before it though. I haven't seen the very last one. I just know of it and what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But Weeds had that problem where remember how like at the end of Weeds you're just like finish this thing.
Because she
it's so
just keeps
terrible.
repeating the same cycle everywhere she goes.
And she never learns her mistakes, and they kept aging up the kids to where you had like this like 12-year-old playing a 35-year-old. Remember that in The Little Son? He played the kid that had like the guy that had a drinking problem, and you're like, you put a mustache on a 12-year-old. I'm just saying. And we all know. Have you seen Weeds?
No.
The first season's amazing.
Yeah.
The last season's god awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of our problem with Orange is the New Black. I do think
I think they do a good job though because it may seem repetitive, but they keep introducing new characters and explaining their whole backstory and making you fall in love with new people every time.
I think
New
season 2
villains.
is the best example of how good that show can be.
Yeah.
Where they brought in the counter to Red. Remember, Red had that one woman that kind of got all the other women together. So you had like 2 little factions starting up in there. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then season 3 was like the rise of Red and stuff. So I think this is tough. I think I'm gonna go with Orange is the New Black solely because it's the bigger, more all-encompassing show. I think for Narcos it turns away a lot of people because a lot of people it's a lot of subtitles and it is pretty complex and dark. When I think Orange is the New Black has a little bit for everybody has drama, comedy. It brings in more people. So I'm gonna go Orange is the New Black for number 1.
It's alright, we all make mistakes.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's why you end up in prison. All right, for our number 2, Joe, you start off.
Narcos.
Okay.
Should have been
This is
number
your
1.
Tiana rule.
Should have been number 1.
Good.
All right, talk a little bit about it. You got 1 minute. Go. Anything that you think that could counter what my argument was.
Well, I think it should have been number 1. Well, what's your number 2?
You don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
If I knew you were doing Tiana, I would have him go first. But
yeah, it was just
my number 2 is gonna be Stranger
I guess
Things.
if you like,
okay, it's going to be against Stranger Things.
if you yeah, that's fine because it's better than Stranger Things.
Oh, good luck.
That's adorable.
Oh, this is number 1 on my list, boys. Stranger Things is like number 5.
All right, sell us on it. What's so great about it?
I don't know. Narcos is just really good. I like the. You guys always hate on me. It's got the action, and I like the violence, I guess, in it. Where like you said, it was kind of dark, and I can see why some people don't like it. But I don't know. It's just a real good story, and it's a true story. So you're kind of like if you already don't know the story of Pablo Escobar.
Do they portray it in a way that seems very true, or is it kind of like fictional? It seems like it's a fictional story the way they show it.
No, I would say it's portrayed really true.
Like you can see that happening.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing in there I would say was like too Hollywood or fake. The way he dies at the end is exactly how he died in real life, the real life story. And they end it at the end of the season 2 where the story's done. They end it with like pictures,
showing
real pictures when it all
footage.
happened.
I like when they do that.
And
I love when they do that.
have you seen
Validates.
Band of Brothers yet? I think I told you to watch that.
What?
Band of Brothers.
It is on my Amazon list.
Like I said, we all make mistakes, Sam.
I'm gonna buy the collector's edition.
Oh, it
It's
looks
on my
good,
Amazon list.
But yeah, it's really good.
10.
Really, it's all true, and I think the real DEA agents, like I was talking about for number one, they're talking at the end of season 2.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was all really good and portrayed really
All right, so you're about
to the
3 minutes in now.
to the actual story,
Yeah, that's good.
True story. I like it.
All right, Jonathan.
like Transformers.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, right?
Stranger Things. This is another one that I'm sure everybody, if you've ever had Netflix, has seen.
It's so
or
hard to
heard of
see how I get
Things.
Stranger Things.
It's such a good show. What's one of my favorite things? Well, let me just briefly explain. So, Stranger Things is a show about a group of kids back in like the late 70s, early 80s, or something like that. They find this girl who's a little bit different. They're in this town where there's a bunch of supernatural stuff going on, pretty much. Lab experiments in a hidden underground facility that the city's not supposed to know about. And they find this little girl who, come to find out, has telepathy and is able to throw things and move things with her mind, but she gets nosebleeds. And then they end up trying to save the city from this demon thing that's attacking, which ends up being Demogorgon, yeah. That ends up being through this portal in the upside down world, the other dimension or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just a super deep, cool story. But my favorite thing about the show is the way they portray now with our technology, the representation of the 80s technology.
They do such a good job.
They make it look so good. It's so cool to see that perspective, because I think back of when, like, you watch a good 80s movie like the old Tron or something like that portrays their version of future technology.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing to see, what they thought our future was going to look like. Versus now, the technology we have, we can show it totally different. I mean, how we've evolved, like, they never considered a touchscreen was going to come around. I think that's the biggest difference now. There used to be panels with 1,000 different buttons, and each button will do a different job, and then when it lights up a different color, it does this other job. And, now we got touchscreen, so something the size of your phone is equivalent to 1,000,000 buttons. So, anyways, but I like the way they portray that time period, and the story is just really good, suspenseful, action-packed story. I like it.
All right, so my question for you guys on this time around is cast. I want to know, how do you think the casting was? How do you think it affected the show? And Jonathan, we're going to start with you on this one.
The cast. It's hard because it's all based off of kids, but they do a really good job. This group of kids reminds me a lot of, and we've spoken about this before, is It, the early 90s.
It's literally, okay, yeah. So they actually use Stephen King as an inspiration for a lot of it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
The font they use for Stephen King is, or for the title of the show is from the title of the chapters. I'm sorry, is the title from his books. Same
cool.
font.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of feel. The girl, I think her name's 11. Mm-hmm. That they have in there does a good job. She has a shaved head and stuff like that. You could tell, she was part of these lab experiments, and she does a good job at conveying emotion without showing emotion on her face. She has to be like kind of emotionless, because she was alienated from people for so long, and doesn't.
I think her name is Millie Bobby Brown or something like that. Now
something like that.
She's got a good name. Yeah. But she was just a little actress, and now I mean she could write her ticket anywhere she wants to go. Yeah. She could really. I'd like to see her in more roles. She does a really good job. Mm-hmm. All of the kids have super good act. So actually, the kid that kind of likes her in Stranger Things is in It, the new It.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's got the glasses. He's a smart aleck one. He's my favorite kid. Yeah, anything that kid says, I'm enjoying.
Yeah, the older sister's good. The mom of the boy that gets lost in the first season.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
from Beetlejuice.
She's so good. Yeah. She is so good in that too. I mean, it's
all right, so Joe, I'm going to say the same question for you, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I know the judge is not supposed to have any bias. I have a lunch.
Yeah, I know. You have a brother bias. Every time you're the judge or he's the judge, you guys get picked
Bull
number
learn
one.
and sing.
Nope.
We grew up together.
I'm just
we
telling
like
you,
the same stuff.
I have a Stranger Things lunch pail. No joke. With a little Stranger Things thermos.
I'm going to pull it to girl and I'm going to go home.
All right, go ahead now.
Can you repeat the question, please?
How do you think the casting was done on the show? And
I think the casting was superb. Because I'm not dealing with little kids here.
I think they used Pascal in there too. Go ahead, keep going. I'm going to look it up.
That sounds right. I felt like the acting was really good. Also because, like I said, it's a true story. So not only was the acting, I felt like it was top notch for the actors that they brought in, but that everybody looks I like it when they look like who they're portraying.
That is
The two
yeah.
DEA agents looked, spot on to the actual DEA agents that were involved with the whole Pablo Escobar case.
Yeah.
I thought they did a crazy good job with Pablo Escobar. I mean, the guy was just like, you were just like, dear God.
They actually did. It's real quick. I just want to jump in real quick. Pedro Pascal is he plays Javier Pena, and
Pena is the one that takes over in season 3. I don't know if the other one comes in.
okay,
I don't
he's the
remember.
Red Viper from Game of Thrones for those who.
Oh,
Not for me.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
isn't he on the cover of the whenever I look up Narcos? Or maybe
He probably
the
is.
season that it was on.
Yeah, he probably is right now. He's also
in.
in Kingsman. He was awesome in Kingsman, the sequel.
That's right. Yeah, I was just watching that the other day too.
Makes me want to watch Game
He
of
was
Thrones
like the
all
one
over
with the what do you call it?
The lasso.
rope, the lasso.
But
yeah.
he's an awesome actor, and I love Kingsman. Kingsman's great. So
Yeah.
you get that fly bugging you.
Yeah, I know, right? They're always on me.
So, yeah,
But yeah, I think the acting was top notch. I think, and I just loved how they kept it
Very
identical.
accurate portrayals of the
Yeah,
characters.
accurate portrayals.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I would say it was top notch. A lot better than some little kids.
Some really good acting little kids. That's the hard thing is getting a kid to act
Yeah.
good. I mean, they're young. They don't have much experience in life. These grown men could have been acting for 30 years. I mean, they've been beat up on the streets of Hollywood, but these kids don't have much to draw from. So
Sure. But it's not like their acting was hard. They had to act as kids.
yeah, that's true.
In the 80s, you know what I
Acting
mean,
as themselves.
the scenes were set out for them.
But they don't have cell phones. What do they do?
what's funny to me?
They had
that
walkie
you brought
talkies.
up-
I will take a walkie talkie all day.
I would argue the best actor in the entire show's got to be Hooper. I think he does the best
Oh,
job.
yeah,
The
by
sheriff.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by far.
and they need to bring him up, and I thought for sure, like, phenomenal casting. He screams to me 80s cop. Like,
Yeah.
to me, he seems like small town sheriff from the 80s movies that we love, Pet Sematary and stuff like that. So that really surprised me. By the way.
What I liked about him
Pet
too was
Sematary.
that you thought, when I was first watching it, like literally the first night it came out, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I texted you, I was like, Taff, you need to watch the show. She's
Yeah.
like, what is it?
Yeah.
But as I was binging it like that first night, I wasn't sure if he was like a good guy. I was like, is he kind of crooked? He's not helping the mom.
through the whole
Is he
first
the
season,
bad
he's
guy?
kind of sketchy. You're not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and then
Like,
towards the end, like his relationship and his just he ends up being like my favorite.
Yeah.
Like when I first ended that first season, I was like, oh, he was easily my favorite actor.
He turns out to
I
be a
don't
gentle giant when you thought maybe he's just trying to enforce the law and maybe protect the citizens, but you're not worried about the kids or something like that. But he ends up.
He's just good. Well, and I love second season where it's him and 11 out in the cabin.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, I'm just trying to like not get you killed, and you don't blame her too because she's a little girl who's just stuck in this cabin the whole time. But then butting heads is just, it's like such a sitcom, like an 80s
I love,
sitcom.
I love the little teaser at the end of season 1 where you find that he's leaving Waffles out in the
that's
woods.
so great.
Like, oh my god, she's still alive and he's taking care of her. That's cool.
I don't know. Like I guess if I'm gonna try to argue here, I felt like my 3 seasons have all been really good. Season 2 of Stranger Things, I thought was. I didn't like it as all as much as the first season.
Yeah.
Not even
First season
close.
Was pretty awesome.
But I don't even know if I don't
That's
even know
actually
if I
something I was
consider
gonna
it
argue
good.
too.
Like when I ended season 2, I was just like, okay, well thank God this is over. But I was just so let down.
Well, I'll give you this. So I was going to actually argue that for a thing too. Was season 2 of Stranger Things definitely wasn't as good as season 1. But I think a lot of that first off was season 1 was just so like, holy cow, what is this?
Yeah, they introduced so much because
Well,
it's
the
all
thing
the
I also
sci-fi
liked about
dimensional
Season
Well,
2
the
had
fact
one
that-
episode that was a full-on dud, where she like goes to New York or whatever, the big city, and meets other people that are, and it was just like, slice this episode out and delete it. Like Netflix take it off your service.
One of my biggest
bad.
complaints too with season 2 was the fact that there was no physical monster. I guess we had the Demogorgon in number 1, and this one was literally just like I'm wind. You know what I mean? I was just like, well, this was dumb.
psychological.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I know what it was supposed to be. I just thought it was real dumb. So I didn't care for season 2 at all.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring down my judgment on this one. I think
Also, my theme song is 1,000 times better than
Sing
Stranger
it.
Things.
Maybe that'll win.
there's nothing that beats Stranger. Are you serious? Stranger Things theme
yes.
song is just like what 3
It's good.
notes?
No, don't get me wrong. It's
And it
good.
just
and
like
it's very.
by the
it's
way, I'm
very-
like, oh, I'm
yeah,
locked in.
it's
so
it's
good.
very, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, the Narcos one sets
The best theme songs for a show you guys haven't even put up on the freaking list. We'll talk about later on. My honorable mentions I've already mentioned 100 times. That I have literally played on a loop on YouTube while I'm gaming.
Oh god.
No joke, because they change the theme song every time in the intro.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, of course.
Totems of Grisama.
Okay, we know that that's actually the truth there, but still. Anyway, so I'll talk about it later on. Narcos is amazing. I really feel like it's great, but is it number 2 overall
Yes,
Netflix
it should be
show?
number 1.
I don't-
You can give Stranger Things number 3. That's fine. By me.
Stranger Things is badass, and it's something new, and I think it's really actually, it's at the perfect time because we are nostalgia crazy right now, and I mean, that thing hits every freaking point. I mean, even the posters in the background are like Dark Crystal posters. He has a Dark Crystal poster in the background. Who the hell has a Dark Crystal poster anymore?
Just that guy.
Yeah, just that kid. So that was amazing. Joe, I'm sorry. I know it's a Tiana rule, but I have to make sure.
No bias here.
Well, it's just Stranger Things. It's,
You gotta bring good stuff to the
Put
table.
it down on the list. You know.
So let me ask you this question, Joe.
Do you need me here just because you needed a guy here, or do you care what I have to say? What's going on here? If I leave right now, you guys gonna be good?
Okay. We were gonna put a scarecrow in your place, but
Yeah, I might as well.
With a recorder that just says Narcos. No, but here's my thing. Everybody who owns a Netflix account, like, okay, so out of the 10 people who own a Netflix account, probably 8 of them have seen Stranger Things, but probably maybe 2 or 3 have seen
Oh,
Narcos.
a lot of people have seen Narcos. Trust me.
You think more than 3 out of
Narcos.
10 people have seen Narcos?
Yes. My dad's even seen Narcos. He doesn't watch TV.
So that's, well, okay, fair enough. So I hate to do this because of the Tiana rule. It's going to bump it off of our total list, but I got to go Stranger Things too. And I had a real hard time deciding that one.
Yeah, sure.
No joke. Because I don't want to see Stranger Things off the list in general.
You wasted 2 turns on Narcos, man.
It wasn't.
It should have been
honestly,
number 1 and 2.
Jonathan, it wasn't a waste. Narcos is really good. You should give it a shot.
No, I know, but he used it twice, and if he,
I would-
Because it should have been number 1, and I
saved it
wasn't
for-
going to let it be number 3.
Especially
saved it
since
for
you have
3 or
Stranger
4.
Things on your list, you should have just gone for number. Well, he didn't know about Stranger Things. He went first.
Yeah.
All right, so this time we're gonna go. Jonathan first. Jonathan, what do you got?
I got Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Good show. I know neither of you guys have seen it, right? You haven't seen it, Joe? Altered Carbon?
I'm familiar with the actor in it.
It's a good show, and it's a good show because of this world that they put you in.
Yeah.
It's a different future that we haven't really thought about yet. So the main I don't know, point, I guess, of this future that they talk about, the main thing about it.
Yeah.
I'm bad with words right now.
Thing point. Gotcha.
Yeah. Is they developed a chip, a device that you can upload your consciousness onto.
Yeah.
So they put these discs. It's a little disc cartridge or whatever they install when you're a baby in the base of your brain, where your brain meets your spine. And they install that, and so when you get old, or if you lose a limb, or you get shot in the face, or you die somehow, something like that, they take that chip. They can make a clone of your body, or you buy another body or whatever, and you upload your brain back into that body.
It's like Get Out, the science version.
Exactly, yeah. So you're immortal. You can live forever if you can afford it, if you can pay for it. If you are getting old and wrinkly and you just want a fresh new 21-year-old body, you go buy one for, $60 million or whatever they cost at the time.
The ones you buy, are they clones or are they people that are just like, I need to sell myself?
Both. You can. I think they say in there. I think it's illegal to just buy somebody's body. I think you're supposed to be buying clones. But I know, like, inmates, prisoners, they don't leave them in a cell to eat and poop. They put them in stasis and turn their chip to like not off, but to put it in like a bypass or whatever. So they're in the empty abyss for however many years. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
So in one episode, one of the detectives intercepts a guy that's about to be put into stasis, put into prison, and she borrows his body for the Day of the Dead. So she takes her grandma's chip and puts it in him so that her grandma can come back to life for just that one day, the Day of the Dead.
Oh, so you could keep your relatives' chips and then just kind of like bring them back here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So
Yeah,
you bring them
yeah.
back for their birthdays and stuff.
They call it spin them up. You can spin them, run their disc again.
I like that.
So there's even it's such a cool concept, cool world. There's a guy who his wife died and he saved her chip, and he's found through like black market the system you can buy that you can hook up to her chip and you can go into a virtual world with her.
That seems like it'd be a huge seller.
Yeah, it's his daughter. But she was fragmented or whatever, so she's only living the last portion of her life in that reality. So whenever he sees her dying every time.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to actually spend good time with her. So it's a really cool world. And you follow this detective.
Before my question is going to be about episode.
Okay.
So let's get Joe because we're quite a bit in there.
Good show.
So Joe, I have a good idea of what should compete against Altered Carbon. So let's see what you choose.
Does it matter what it chooses?
It does. It really does.
As long as it's a series of fortunate events, you have to show.
Let me
Otherwise-
see. Let me pick one off the list. How
Which-
about we go with...
Think about it. What on your list would compete
I
against?
already know what you want me to say.
I do. I do. Go ahead.
I'll go with Black Mirror for you, Tab.
Oh, there it is. Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Black Mirror. I still haven't seen that. My bad.
If you like Altered Carbon, Jonathan, you should be watching Black Mirror.
The-
They're
so
both
The
awesome.
main reason I haven't is because my wife's afraid of scary movies, and the pictures they use for the front of it always look scary as
They're thriller, not. Oh, I know. The
Yeah.
thriller's actually what she's afraid of.
just the picture. Just the picture. If I keep it up on the screen,
So
so
you
she
guys
sees,
should,
she's like,
you should
"No, I'm
definitely
not
watch Hunting on Hill House. Really good movie.
I will
Yeah.
watch that.
Really good
I
show.
haven't heard about that yet.
She'll like it. Trust me.
You think so?
I also want to watch. I haven't seen it yet. Is this new Sabrina? I've been hearing a lot of. Good
I've
things
heard a
about
lot
that.
of good things about that, and I've heard
Yeah,
it's like
I wanna check that
very
out.
different too because of how dark it is.
Well,
Like,
it's done by the guys who did
witch-
Riverdale, which was a huge surprise.
Exactly,
Who thought
yeah.
Riverdale?
Well,
was gonna be
I've been
good?
told that it's darker than Riverdale. I've never seen Riverdale.
Oh yeah,
but I'm told
Netflix
it's
has got
darker than
CW
Riverdale.
has more restrictions than Netflix. All right, so go ahead and tell us about Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is what are we on? 3 seasons now?
Yeah,
I think it's 3 seasons. It's not like you asked arcing or whatever. It's the stories don't connect. Each episode doesn't connect.
They're
It's
independent.
Twilight Zone-y.
It's exactly the Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
but 1,000 times better.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi, thrillery, suspenseful.
They each have the same cast though, or no?
No,
Totally different people.
different
Yeah,
cast.
it's all
there
different.
are
So,
some
yeah.
recurring characters.
So
but very
these
rare.
are they're single episodes, right? Varying from range to I don't know, 45 minutes to maybe an hour and 20.
different timelines too.
And what's
Are they
cool
all in the
about it-
same town or something like
No,
that?
not even in the same universe.
It's all separate.
Some
stories.
are, but most aren't.
So think of it this way: they literally have different directors. Whether there's been some like actor directors, like big names that you know, and some just random people coming in to literally direct and tell these stories, and they're all just so different. They're all out there. They're crazy. Think of just like super. In
Just
the
like Twilight
future,
Zone, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a good episode. Like
The
there's
first episode's a good example of a not sci-fi one, not very sci-fi one. That's a good, but it's exactly the message that the show's all about. Because the Black Mirror is your screen.
yeah, the Black
that's
Mirror
what the Black
is-
Mirror is.
You're looking at a
Yeah.
Black Mirror.
So it's all about like social media, and it's all about every episode has that theme. It's like social media and our its effect
How
on
it's
our life,
ruining,
Yeah.
humanity.
or improving us. But the improvement, like the one where the guy can record everything he sees, like everybody records everything that they see,
that was
and
trippy,
then
man.
and then he uses that to prove his wife's cheating on him. But it's oh god, it's so good.
It was good. There's a lot of great episodes, and some of these episodes have even actually won Academy Awards, or I don't know
The
the
kid
awards.
from Get Out, he's from there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in one of those episodes. That was a pretty good episode too.
I really
was
like
a
that
weird
one.
What I always thought was kind of cool and not trippy, but just almost eerie, I guess, is how they use that same song in multiple episodes. I can't even sing it.
You were in the process of blowing my mind.
Yeah,
I
you've
did
never
not
caught
realize
that,
that.
huh?
No.
It's the same song in each episode. That one that you're talking about with the guy, remember where he does the singing to win
Yeah.
the other thing? That song is used in so many other episodes too.
Mind is blown. I did not know that. Yeah.
So I always thought that was really cool.
Is it always like a creepy moment when they play that music?
No,
That song?
it's just I thought it was cool. And
It's probably
kind
just
of-
something to tie the universe.
Yeah, that's
up a
what I'm
little
saying.
bit.
That's what
That's
I've
weird.
always been like. Does it tie together? But like, it's also out there.
You can watch them.
I mean,
There's like totally different entities. Like they're
Dude,
so
like,
not related.
It's literally what I've done. Like I've tried to get into watching some of them, and she's watched some of them, and she's really enjoyed them. And it's not like you have to start at episode 1.
Yeah.
But obviously you would, because I've seen them all. But I've been like, oh, you got to watch this one. So I've just gone in, and they're literally just separate stories, just crazy out there, and they're just so good.
Yeah.
From the way they're being told to just the acting, and
even the bad ones are phenomenal.
Yeah.
yeah.
the one you would love probably is the Star Trek one.
Yeah,
They have one that's very you'd like that. They're literally
they won an Emmy for that. I think it was that one. That they
well,
won
no,
an Emmy
and
for.
then I don't remember the name. The one like where the old people go into. I don't want to give them spoilers.
I don't think
but-
I've seen that one.
It's San Junipero is what it's called. It's a really good one too. Probably not my favorite, but I know that one's for sure won awards, and that one's a really good one. But they're literally movie quality. Like you're not watching a TV show. You're not
Movie
watching
level actors in them.
You're
too.
not watching. You're not watching a TV show. You're watching a movie.
One of my favorite episodes too is this one where this woman, she's in a really great relationship with the guy from the new Star Wars. He's like the big bad above Kylo Ren, the guy with the red hair.
Yeah.
She's in a relationship with him, and he dies, and then she orders a robot that looks exactly like him with his personality uploaded. And like it takes a few days, but then he starts to kind of like really fit in. But there's still things that don't quite work, and then she's starting to fall in love with the robot again. but it's just like it's not quite right. And so that relationship, it's something that we might not see for decades or centuries, but it's like that. It will be a problem that'll come up at some point. You know,
That reminds me of a movie. I can't remember which one it is, but where, oh god, it's a heartbreaking moment too, where the guy's seeing his wife, but only in his dreams, and oh, Inception. That's what it was, where he sees
God,
his
I love
wife
it.
only in his dream.
How do you not know Inception? What is it?
Took a minute.
do you need to see Joe's tattoo? Inception?
Is the top falling over?
No, it's just a little spinning thing.
But yeah, so he in the end tells her like, you're great, but you're only as good as I can remember. You're not. You don't have all the little imperfections and nuances that only you have. So
Yeah.
that's how.
I mean, like,
she's
if you guys aren't doing anything. Sorry. If you guys aren't doing anything today, I will literally stay and watch a few episodes.
Have such a busy day, Joe, and
To
I
get
just saw
John in.
more people pull up. It's gonna be so. Okay, so my question for this round was, what is the episode structure like? And since you basically broke down, that's what Black Mirror is all about, is this episode structure.
Alright.
So what is the episode structure? Is it like a procedural, every day is a new story, or is it a continuous story?
It's
How's
a
it work?
continuous story. Each episode starts off with the last one left because it's a growing, evolving story. There's like a lot of cool character development in it because so much of it is about the fact that somebody who's 23 could actually be 123 and you don't realize that they've lived so many lives already.
I like that,
Yeah. Or
That reminds me of In Time.
yeah, it's a lot
like
like
that
that. This is a super distant future where they go to other planets and stuff like that. A very, very cool world they have you in. But the main story of it is about you following this detective who he was hired by this rich family of this, I can't remember what he does, a politician or whatever, a rich man who was assassinated. And he uploaded into one of his other bodies. He has the money to afford a satellite that when every 2 hours he gets an update from from his chip to the satellite. So if he ever dies,
Full on immortal.
he has the 2 hour most recent version of him is uploaded into another clone, and he's fine.
That's cool.
But he wants to find who shot me right before my upload was gonna. So I missed 2 hours of time because they killed me right before the upload.
Man.
Yeah. So this detective's trying to figure all that stuff out. And in the middle of it, though, he finds there's so much corruption in this whole system and how, money is moved and people are manipulating everything. And the poor are kept as slaves and don't have the
they're
ability
basically
to
bodies.
reincarnate.
Really,
Yeah.
that's what the rich are thinking. This is my farm.
Yeah. And so but at the same time, these rich people who live forever are still trying to find a purpose because they're immortal and they have endless money.
All right.
But
Yeah.
one thing that the rich employer, I can't remember his name, what the rich guy does, who's a good actor and you'd recognize him too. God, I wish I could remember his name. Anyways, one thing he does that's kind of cool is he goes to help the people, or goes to feed the poor. But he doesn't just feed any poor, he goes to feed the people who have like leprosy, who have these infectious disease that kills anybody else. So
Okay.
so he goes there in one of his bodies that he knows he's going to lose. He goes there and gets himself infected. He goes and touches them, hugs the kids, washes people's hands and stuff like that to allow these people to touch because they never feel, they don't interact with anybody else because they're so infectious.
Yeah.
He goes there and feeds these people and spends time with them and wastes one body because he knows he has an endless supply of them. And it's one way for him to feel good about himself. But then the guy
One of them is infected or something?
the detective is there with him, and he's actually a hired gun. He's not a detective, but he's a PI. But he's there with him, and he's making sure not to touch anybody and stay clean. And he's like, this is super dangerous. Why are you doing this? He's like, no, it's okay. I know this body will be lost. But he asks him, you have all this money, and you're willing to spend, X amount on food for these people, and X amount on a body that you're wasting and stuff like that. Why don't you buy all these people a new body? You can. You have the money. You could buy them cheap bodies. You could buy, whatever, clones of whoever. It doesn't matter. You can afford to put all 500 of these people in new bodies and they would live healthy lives for the rest of their life. But you don't. And he pretty much explains that, I'm not here to do everything. I'm here just to do enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to keep...
To appease himself.
Yeah, and enough to keep the system going. So it's like, oh man, that's sad. And there's so much depth in the story.
Yeah.
There's the whole brother and sister relationship of the detective who's in another body he wasn't originally in, and he doesn't really know who he is, and he finds his sister, and all this, his mind was erased from so many years. It's really deep, cool storyline in a really good world that I wish they would make. It's kind of like Avatar, how they build a really cool world. I want them to keep making more episodes of the show.
All right, so here's my problem. of the two shows, I want to watch that one.
Yeah, you got
Super bad.
I wish you guys have. I've been telling you guys for a while.
Well, I know. I've been busy.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say, so with my personal bias in place, Black Mirror is better. Just because I know Black Mirror is better.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so many awards. Do you know of any Emmys or anything like that Altered Carbon has picked up?
I don't know of any Emmys of any shows, so I don't know.
The thing with Black Mirror, you can pick any episode at random, and I guarantee you that one episode you watch is 1,000 times better than that whole season.
Well, and they
that.
all have it. They all same with this one. They all have like a message of how to better our people. I'll admit that there's no doubt you've sold Altered Carbon.
Just even that bit I was telling you about the guy who plugs into the network to be able to see his daughter. The detective comes and gets involved and tries to help him find why his daughter's stuck in this glitch. And
So is it a different story every episode? Because what it sounds like is you're talking about a procedural where it's you start off with maybe there's overarching stuff. But
it's a full overarching thing, but in each episode, it's like it's all connected. There's not like a beginning and end to each episode. It just leaves you for the next part. But like there's some things he needs to be able to get to solve this big puzzle of who killed this guy. So at one point he needs this guy to help him out. So the guy says, "Well, I'll help you out if you help me figure out what happened with my daughter."
Okay.
So it
does
sidetracks
introduce-
and goes back and forth a little bit. But
Okay. Anything else you want to throw in real fast? We don't have a lot of time. But
So many good stories. His is one story with Black Mirror that's just all, separate,
so you don't
crazy, surreal stories.
don't
that
fall
are
in love
just,
with any of the characters because they come and go.
because they're bringing in big
it's all,
cast.
it's all,
They're bringing
it's,
in big
it's
guys.
like it's a movie each episode. Each episode's a movie. That's the best way I can put it. And they're high quality. They're good.
How many episodes per season are there?
Depends. I think the first season was like 5. Second season had like maybe like 8 to 10, and I think
I don't even
third
think
had
like that many.
6.
I think it was like 6. Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention too, in this world of pretty much immortality, there is one way you kill somebody. You have to shoot them in the base of their spine, and you hit their chip, and then they are erased.
Let me
for
ask you:
eternity.
are there any assassins that specialize in that? Because that'd be a cool storyline.
Not
there be
not
like-
specific.
I'm the best shooter in town. Like I should have who's shooting your chip.
Everybody.
I just made a new character for the show.
It's no longer like when you're being trained as a soldier, aim for a headshot. It's aim for a chip shot.
Yeah.
So everybody who
Ooh,
wields
chip
a
shot
gun
sounds
has to
cool.
learn how to do that.
I'm the best of the chip shots.
Yeah.
All right, so
Good show.
going over both your, and it's so hard because I used bias in your last one.
Yeah, of course.
And I can't help but have a little bias on Black Mirror because it's so damn good, John. I think for this one, while you've sold me a lot on your show, and I appreciate that, I gotta go Black Mirror on this one, John. It's really good, and I think it has what your show has. So,
you were talking about, I don't remember, but there's have you seen the episode where like the military gets sent in and there's like these monsters almost that they have to exterminate?
Right,
Have you
yeah,
seen that
yeah.
one?
Yeah, yeah.
It was talking about something like that, how like they kind of look different, or I don't remember what exactly your word for word was, but there's an episode where like they send in the military, this whole town's been ravaged, and you kind of see them shooting it. I think it's the Get Out guy actually perspective. I could be wrong.
probably.
But you're watching the military go in and kill these monsters, right? And then he gets he's shooting at one, but they throw something. It was like this little EMP grenade almost. He picks it up. They're not supposed to pick it up. He doesn't know. He's like a rookie. Picks it up, and then you kind of see like a little flicker in his eye.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I thought I did.
He
But
sees like a little flicker in his eye, and he's just like, oh, what, and now he's going out into the field to shoot things. But there's no more monsters anymore. It's kind of like what the military's
Now he's
been
stuck
putting
in
in their
there.
eyes and stuff
Yeah.
for like everybody. It's just like they have chips to see what the military wants them to see, but they're really just exterminating people.
Yeah.
So it's like the homeless or different race or something. And he's just like, what's going on? And he talks to like a higher up, and he's like, this is how it is.
yeah, you pull the trigger easier when it's not
You
human.
pull the trigger easier
Yeah.
when you're not looking into the eyes
You're
of
not
another
killing
human.
innocent kids. You're killing
Exactly.
monsters. And
So what
demons.
we've come out of this round, this has actually been the most interesting round
Yeah.
because both these shows are pretty equal
Pretty
in
similar,
everybody.
yeah.
So I think we both can suggest you guys both need to watch Black Mirror and Altered Carbon.
Oh yeah.
And I'm watching both, so I'm
I
happy.
can give you episodes right now
Right
that you need to watch.
There's so
right
many.
now.
There's so
There's
many
some
good
good
episodes
ones.
of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on our fourth
Are we at
round.
like 45 minutes now?
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
Like literally people are pulling up to do work and stuff like
I
that.
didn't know you guys had stuff going on. We could have
That's
had
all right.
something different.
No, that's
later in the day or something. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So number 4, Joe, what's your number 4?
Number 4.
We'll try to go a little faster now.
Let's go with Stranger Things. How about The Ranch?
The Ranch. Okay, this should be a fast round.
Yeah, right?
So speaking of in that case, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Tiana roll with Altered Carbon and bring that back in.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to 5 now, or what do you want to do?
All right, go ahead. You got a minute. Defend The Ranch.
Ranch. It's got. I'm not good with actors.
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
The other guy from that.
The
70s
other
show.
guy from that 70s show. What's the guy's name? The dad. He's kind of a big
white
actor.
guy.
Sam Williams.
Rudd?
No, that's not right. It's the guy from like. He's from. Okay, just keep talking.
I know he's in Parks and Rec. He plays other Ron.
Yeah, he's
hippie Ron.
He's other Ron. Yeah.
That's a good show too.
But yeah, it's about this family that lives on a ranch in Colorado.
Okay, yeah.
I believe. Yeah, Colorado, because they're Denver fans. Something about John Early.
Yeah.
They live on this ranch, and it's basically
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
I was right with the same. I'm just saying.
And they kind of just their what would you kind of call it, a little sitcom?
It's a sitcom.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's a
It's
sitcom.
basically just a sitcom, but it's obviously can't be aired on TV. It's vulgar and
Yeah, it's got a little bit of an edge
lot
to it.
of
Have you seen it
language.
before, John?
Oh yeah, Susie likes it. I've watched it a lot.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. And yeah, it's kind of just their story of them surviving and making ends meet, basically.
Yeah.
Little sitcom.
All right.
They have
We're
They're
gonna
on a
stick.
ranch.
We're gonna stick to our timers because
Okay.
we are really way behind. So,
do I need to debate Altered Carbon anymore?
yeah.
Try to make it quick.
Just give a quick little rundown of what do you think would be better than just argue it against.
So I don't like the comedy in the ranch. To me, it's just so cheap. I know part of their dynamic in their situation is that one of the sons came from the city and now he's living back at the ranch with the family. But the cheap accent and stuff like that, it's just, to me, I don't like it.
Nobody's winning acting awards. There's no doubt. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
meant
yeah.
for that, but
But-
it's,
Hey, we're at number 4.
Narcos
The only
will
two
win
that
acting.
I was, very strongly willed for, one got kicked. for Orange is the New Black.
It's just anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
But Altered Carbon again is also, it's just the world that they created is so cool. I wish they'd make a spin-off series that, continues with other people in this world that they made. Then mainly it's the concept of these chips that they can upload their brain on and live forever. But like, so one of the episodes where this
You have 3 seconds before you get to this episode.
okay, never mind. Yeah,
We were way behind, so I can't let you go on. All right. One thing that's kind of funny, just a real quick note, is it feels like Altered Carbon is just a really big episode of Black Mirror.
yeah, it's the way you guys described it. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
You really like Black Mirror. I
There's
didn't
no
know
doubt.
you haven't seen it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So good. All right. So I'm looking over these. They're very different shows, but the thing I'm going to use to choose which one should win this is I'm excited to see Altered Carbon, and I've watched Run of the Ranch, and I can't get past the first season.
Yeah.
It just...
There's what, 3? Second season was kind of just like, meh.
Yeah.
the
I
first,
enjoyed the first season.
How did this end up on your list?
well,
I
it was there
pick
before.
things that I've seen. I
okay.
don't go on the internet and pick like, oh, this is a good one.
Well, my list is all I've
Orange is
seen,
the New
true.
Black.
That's
I've
true.
seen like
Yeah.
handful of episodes just because I was in love with a girl.
Mm.
So that's the only reason I watched it.
Ruby Rose. Oh my
But
God.
it's not
Kills me.
like I don't. When I do any of my lists, I try to pick things that I'm familiar with.
All my list was the same way. I think Jonathan's was as well. Okay,
Like I said,
so
we're at number 4 now.
so number 4, we're gonna go Altered Carbon. I just think it's a way better quality show and stuff like that. The Ranch is a nice sitcom, but it feels gimmicky sometimes. I did like the ending of the first season though. When
Yeah,
Mom
the
left,
first season I thought was really good, and then it kind of just like
because
they're like, oh, we're actually got watchers, people viewing us.
Yeah.
We got to make another season.
so the first season, one of the big hooks on the first season was the fact that his dad and him didn't get along, and so their relationship, trying to build that relationship up again, was very watchable.
Yeah.
I really liked that part a lot. So anyway, so we're gonna go Altered Carbon. I'm super excited to check the show out. My handwriting's terrible today. Okay, number 5.
Writing like
I know. Well, it's because of the laptop. All right, John. Jonathan, number
I
5.
got 2 good shows, and it's hard to choose between the 2. But
go with Narcos.
I think want to go
That
with
way I don't
Lost in Space.
leave tonight mad.
Right. So my last 2 are Lost in Space or Atypical.
Oh,
Atypical is
Atypical.
a really good
I
show.
like Atypical.
I've never seen Atypical. I've seen Lost in Space.
But yeah, and I think I could debate better for Lost in Space anyways. So, Lost in Space is cool. It's based on the old series Lost in Space, but it's a family that's on a space station, and there's space station's falling apart. They have to get on a ship, and they end up crash landing on this planet. And so it's pretty much just about this family in our future trying to survive on this planet with what technology they have and limited resources, and a planet they're not familiar with. So it's really cool. The little kid finds a robot, and the robot works for him, with him, ends up being his friend. But nobody really trusts this robot, and that's a big part of the story. And then at some point, the robot turns and he loses control, but then it comes back around. It's really cool, interesting story. I like their portrayal of our future technology.
Yeah.
And the scenario of them trying to survive on this alien planet.
All right. And Joe, go.
I'm gonna go with Haunting on Hill House, or the
Okay.
Hill House on Haunted House.
That sounds scary.
Something like this. It is. So it came out like the beginning of probably October. Obviously, I started watching it because I heard a few really good things on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then from people, I was like, okay, I guess I really do need to watch this. It's a horror suspense show. 1 season so far, 10 episodes. It's basically, think of like any haunting movie, Haunting Connecticut. I think it's very similar. This family moves into this new house. And they start notice, the kids. The parents don't see anything. The kids start seeing crazy things, hearing crazy things, stuff like that. There's these two groundskeepers, this husband and wife.
Shining style.
Yeah, they're there. The wife's very creepy. The guy's very likable. He's kind of like, yeah, we've been here since we were kids.
Try to speak up a little bit.
They know they know what's up.
They know about the.
They know things. Basically, you find out a little bit later. But yeah, good show so far.
So have you finished watching it?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what is the hook for what's different about this show than any other haunting show I've seen before?
It's a TV show. I think that's crazy. I've never watched like.
Oh, that's a good.
It's a TV
that's a good point. Because I'm thinking of like
this is a TV
Exorcism
show.
And stuff like that. Like you got the normal stuff going on, The Shining. You're talking about
let me get in here.
Ongoing.
So it's a TV show. It's an ongoing thing, and it's what's the word? Directed. It's shot. Honestly, I can tell you the exact episodes. Okay, not exactly. 5 or 6.
Yeah.
One of those 2 episodes was probably just one of the best things I've seen in a long time.
Really.
And I'm talking about just from camera angles. And when you're watching the show, you get a little bit of. You're going to get into the story a bit, so I can't bring you up to date at episode 6.
Right, yeah, I don't want you to yet.
But the way the story is being told is I love it. I think it's so great. It's things I like. I love flashbacks, right? Yeah. And this is the type of show. It's the kids now, like grown and things like that. Oh, they're looking back at the haunting. Yeah, and then a lot of flashbacks to when they were kids and stories like that and what's going on in their lives. And then you'll see flashbacks like, for instance, there's an episode where, little spoiler, one of the guys is, he's a druggie. But you see that episode 1, basically. You're seeing it from one of the brothers' perspectives. He has to go home. He's walking up the stairs into his apartment. He sees the brother coming down, blah, 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 blah. Episode 3 or 4, you're in the brother's perspective, and you're kind of doing a flashback, and everything he was doing up to then, he actually wasn't on the drugs at the time. So it's crazy things, but it's really, really good.
All right, so...
don't watch it with Susie.
Lost in Space I've seen before, and the quality seemed lacking to me. What did you think of the
You said you saw only the first episode.
I've seen the entire show. And the first episode's quality was awful.
Yeah, I didn't notice the quality of the first episode until you mentioned it, and I rewatched it, and I see there's spots where they made sure to do it down so that they could save some money on it.
And it's the pilot. You always expect that out of the pilot. The pilot's filmed different than any other one because they're on a budget.
But after that, I think the quality was great. Especially, I like the way they portrayed the robot. The face of the robot is really cool because I don't remember the old one, but I think it was just like a R2-D2 but with arms, kind of tin can robot. This one is very alien looking, very alien, and the face is. Well, you've seen it, but it's like stars, like falling stars almost in his face. It's cool, but it changes. It's almost like a TV screen.
It's like a scattergraph
changes,
look.
With his emotions. But I think they did a good job with the quality. I think it reminds me a lot of the newer Star Trek movies, the way they make things look.
Mm-hmm. It's that clean look.
Yeah, clean, sharp, fine detail, bright colors. I think they did a good job with the style and making the future look different.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. They did a good job there. The acting to me is a little poor, but my favorite is the 2 girls that I think they do a
daughter and like stepdaughter or whatever they are.
They're both actually daughters. One is from a first marriage. The oldest daughter's from the first marriage.
I didn't know that.
I think another thing I probably should have said to my question was not only do I feel what you said was different or from the others, it being a TV show, but one thing you don't really get in like horror movies is character development, and you do get a really good sense of the characters.
That's interesting because I can't really think of
right. You're thinking like oh whatever horror movie. No, you really kind of one episode is like centered around one of the girls, one of the in the family, and kind of get to learn about her, and she's got a little bit of a gift type power type thing that she's gotten from that stuff like that. So really, really good. Yeah. And I'm sure I could have sworn I told you to check it out, but
no, I haven't heard this. What was the name of it again?
Haunting on Hill House.
On Hill House?
Yeah. You'll see it. Just type in haunting and it'll pop up.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure it's on this list.
Yeah.
I'm actually writing it down now for that. All right. So for number 5, we're going to go with Haunting on Hill House. I just think I like the idea of, first off, the character development in a horror film that's not seen before.
Yeah, you're really getting a sense of it's a real good story.
And the idea of the better directing, which I think, personally, I feel was just missing in Lost in Space. I think it was missing some production quality. I hope the season 2 they really kind of step it up.
If they could afford to have a little bit better actors or something like that, would probably, if they brought in a new character that was...
Like I said,
well, they ended it off where they're in a whole new galaxy, which I think that could be a thing.
Yeah.
This could be their Star Trek.
Yeah. Because
that's what they really have developed it into. The first season was really what you expect out of Lost in Space. The second season feels like it's a Star Trek now.
Yeah.
That would sell me. Haunting on Hill House for number 5. All right, so I'm going to go over our list, and then we'll go over our honorable mentions real quick. The list 5 to 1 is number 5 is Haunting on Hill House. Number 4, Altered Carbon. I really want to see that show. Number 3, Black Mirror. Number 2, Stranger Things. And number 1, Orange is the New Black. Solid list. Mm-hmm. Not my favorites. Mm-hmm. my top 2 are on this list.
No Narcos.
Well, yeah.
Kind of top 5 Netflix series list is this?
All right, Joe, you have any honorable mentions you want to get out there?
Narcos?
Narcos. If you guys haven't seen Narcos, watch Narcos, especially the first 2 seasons.
Especially like cooking.
That's about it.
Yeah. Anything you want to throw out there for honorable mentions? What was the one you didn't make your list again?
Atypical. It was a good show about a family with the son has autism and what that looks like in
Good Doctor?
life.
I love Good Doctor.
Good Doctor, but in school. The kid's in high school.
Oh, okay. I love Good Doctor.
Yeah. It's
you ever watched New Amsterdam yet?
No.
Elix is on the latest episode.
What?
Yeah.
Ethan Phillips?
Yeah. Oh, man, the fact you're able to shout out that name just...
Uncle Neelix.
Uncle Neelix. It is, so yeah. So that's what the show. What's that?
Don't you have a character named Neelix?
I do. I have a lot of characters named after Star Trek Voyager.
And Tuvok.
And Tuvok is too.
Okay, well now I know where they're coming from.
Yeah. My 2 honorable mentions that should have been number 1 and 2.
No.
I'll give BoJack Horseman. I think is amazing.
Still never watched that.
Phenomenal story. It's honestly Mad Men, but animated. The fact that it's animated, I think, might turn people off who aren't like fans of animation.
Yeah.
But the story is so good. It's got enough comedy and enough drama to where you're in love, and you're always just like, BoJack, don't make that bad choice. He makes that bad choice because he's BoJack Horseman. And in the moments where he actually does something decent, you're just like rooting for him. And then his betrayal, I mean, it's just Will Arnett plays him.
Where have we seen that before? There's another series we used to watch live action where I feel like that.
I mean, it feels a lot like Mad Men that way.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit like Breaking Bad too, like where the wife's kind of like the wife and his son's relationship with him is a lot of how
things are
BoJack
almost perfect, and then he chooses to go back to the way he was.
Because he's almost more comfortable being a shithead.
Yeah,
and so it's a really great show, and then and it's also hilarious, but it's a really good story. Another show that I think should be really mentioned is A Series of Unfortunate Events. I love this show.
I gave it a shot because I was excited for it too. They had MPH in there.
Yeah,
everybody likes MPH.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just couldn't get past episode 2 or 3. I just wasn't feeling it.
So not only have I rewatched the first season a few times and second season as well now. Like Squeaks and Sarah, they love the show too.
Yeah.
The intro changes every 2 episods because every episode's a 2-parter.
Yeah,
and every 2 episodes the intro changes based on what's going on. Like now they're at a circus and it's
because it's a recap too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a recap of what's going on.
That's cool.
It is such a phenomenal show. If you guys have watched the old movie, not the old movie, it's from the 2000s even, I think. But they do a really good job of they're pretty similar, but this is actually off of the actual Lemony Snicket storyline, This is the first guy, you guys like think of like the Midnight Before Christmas, or the Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a new movie. Don't take that title. I'm taking it anyway. So it's kind of like that idea of like dark humor. It's so great. No Netflix show gets me more pumped for a new season than that show. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm a 33. How old I am? Yeah, I'm about to be 33 next week. I'm a 33-year-old guy who honestly like will sing along with that intro like a mother. And there's a playlist that you can listen to all the intros in order, and because they're all different, so you kind of, and I've done it while I'm gaming. I'm like sitting there like,
so like it. When you listen to all the intros, you hear pretty much the whole story of what's happening, right?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Who dies?
Everybody. every episode there's somebody dying. Yeah, it's especially the first season when they're like knocking off. And then it's so cool because like the second season you're trying to figure out who the secret society is that their parents worked for, and the name for the secret society is so perfect. I'm not gonna tell you guys. You guys gotta watch it. But it's just like, yes, it's exactly what it should be, and it's perfect. And it's awesome. You guys really, I hope you guys can watch it.
Is it kind of like the Sweeney Todd art style?
It's like that, but a little bit silly. But it's that art style, yeah. But it's like it's silly and it's campy, but it's just. I mean, sometimes you gotta like stop with the downer stuff and just enjoy fun stories. There's like a story of this town that like has a bunch of birds, and they like everything's about these birds. And then there's this guy who's like trying to move out, so instead of like moving, he's actually building like a big floating house, and he's trying to use that to help
Sweeney
the kids.
Todd meets Cat in the Hat, or Dr. Seuss.
Meets James and Giant Peach. You know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of thing. It's just so good, and I love it, and it's just so freaking good.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for our show. I think we had some really good ones, and definitely did some deep dives on Narcos. That's another thing. So thank you for joining us. We have all the social medias. Check us out on those. We have Instagram. It's hopping now.
Wow.
Yeah. And BlizzCon did really good for us. People are starting to listen to us from BlizzCon, so that was a lot of fun. Nice. We're looking at next conventions to join. Any convention ideas, you guys hit us up, and we'll head to them, and we'll be happy to meet people there. But that's about it. Anything else you guys want to throw out there before we head out?
That's it. I'm good.
Yeah, I think that was about it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Thanks for listening to The Top 5. You can find us all over social media. We're on Facebook at The Top 5 Podcast, on Twitter at The Top 5 Cast. We've got a website, thetop5podcast.com. We've got Patreon and Redbubble. We'll have those in the description. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on one of the social medias. Please give us a good rating on iTunes. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you later.